That you exist is absolutely certain. Whatever you may conceive of this existence, including all that is perceptible, is entirely unreal. When the two are confounded, there is the illusion of bondage. Seeking liberation, if one inquires to know his own existence, then the liberation he has sought is his natural, innate state. It is the one state without an alternative. For the self, as it is the sole existent reality. Duality is not true. That means there is no alternative to your being, which is the Absolute, Brahman. Duality is not true. That means there is no other state that you can be in, nor is there a second you other than the one indivisible, illimitable self to be any such thing. What is necessary is to examine your own existence. Supposing anything else to be so or not so, to be like this or not like this, without knowing yourself, is ridiculous. The first thing you must do is know yourself, if you would know what is reality. Likewise, if you want to see God, the first thing you must do is you must know yourself. However, having accomplished that first thing, that is also the last thing. Examine yourself and observe what you regard as your identity. Then set about determining what is truly your existence. Whatever is truly your existence is so without a moment's interruption. Whatever is truly your existence cannot possibly be something objective that is removed from you, not even so much as a thought form, which is subtly objective, in contrast to those thought forms we take to be physical, which seem to be grossly objective. What is truly your existence can never be other than existence. So look for that in you, that which is alone you, which is both unborn and imperishable. It cannot be the body, nor can it be the mind. Inquire into yourself to know yourself. Not to create a new self is not possible. Not to transform your existence into something other than it is. Again, that is not possible. Only know yourself. Realize yourself. The Maharshi has stated that we loosely speak of self-realization, but how is one to realize or make more real that which is already real? by virtue of an inquiry into yourself, abandon the imagined limitations. You do not make reality more real, but reality comprehends itself in self-knowledge. Whatever is objective, whatever is transient, whatever is perceptible, whatever is conceivable, do not regard such as yourself. Whatever has a name, whatever has a form, cannot possibly be you. Search out your own actual existence. That existence itself is the Brahman that one becomes one with, the God that one worships or devotes himself to. That in itself is both the self to be known and the self who is the knower, there being no duality. If you proceed along these lines, you will find that your nature is indivisible, so that you cannot be separated from your own bliss. You cannot be separated from your own peace. You can never be other than what you actually are. The nature of such abidance is knowledge, and such knowledge is without end. There is no separate individual or ego entity. Abandoning that false assumption, know yourself as you are. If you feel within yourself, if you think within yourself, I don't quite realize this, inquire into the I that does not quite realize it. If you're waiting for spiritual experience to dawn, find out who is it that waits. For existence does not wait for an opportune moment. if you're waiting for teaching to happen, the existence itself is the essence of the teaching. It does not happen. It is. Profound spiritual experience does not happen. It is. You yourself are the nature of the realization. For a non-dual truth, it is necessary that the realization be the identical nature as that which is realized. That, the self, is not an event in time. Likewise, the realization. It is absurd to say you have it. It is absurd to say you do not have it. If you have a question at any point this morning, or you wish to relate your own experience, feel free to do so.
Often, when you speak, it seems like, any phrase, if taken deeply enough, points directly to reality. Today, I was taken particularly by one of the things that you said, and I'm sure you've said before, that was, you cannot be other than who you are. And again, that points directly, it seems, at the truth and how ridiculous it is to try to hold on to all those other things.
So then spiritual practice consists of eliminating mere imagination. If imagination goes on, samsara, maya, continues. The practice simply eliminates the imagination, since you cannot be other than what you are. You determine what you are, since it is non-objective, by the elimination of what you're not. What remains just knows itself.
Certainly in practice, there seems like there are times in my own practice where kind of the veil of illusion isn't present. And, there's still other times when the identifications come back. I can see more how much they are this, kind of mind's construct. The mind, it seems like, wants to know. When the mind doesn't know, the mind wants to know and will make up whatever.
And will make up any amount of ignorance in the name of knowledge.
Right, yes.
What is the mind that has that tendency? If we remove that objectifying tendency from the mind, since it's only merely a function, which means it's unreal, and we look to see what the mind is in itself, in its own substance or nature, without that tendency, what's left of it?
Nothing that you can find. Not even anyone to find it.
It's in the abandonment of just those kinds of assumptions that practice is fulfilled. As long as ignorance seems to come back. First, see what the ignorance consists of. That you already implied. It's misidentification. Then and again inquire to see, is this who I am? Can this be I? When the potential for ignorance is impossible, then there's no more alternative state. So if you know there's no one really there, but someone seems to get the show going, inquire into him again and again. Yes, every time you look at him, the more you look at him, the less you'll see. You exist, but there's less of him.
It was a good meditation this morning, because your discourse, I guess, when you discuss about if you're waiting for something to happen, that was just kind of I'm just noticing that why would I ever wait? You know, or I feel like I also do that meditation on Friday. When you mentioned, why did, when I drift, my mind drifts onto something that, I put reality into. So every time, that I drift, I try to just reflect on what is it. I mean, I shouldn't say every time, but the times when I really notice. For instance, we had just negotiated this contract, with my former company. And I had to walk out of the room. And when I came back, it was like all this stuff was negotiated the wrong direction, not in our favor, but in favor. Anyway, my mind kind of goes back to this thing thinking, how in the heck did that ever happen? You know, and it seems like in a relative sense, the mind's going to, be occupied with trying to fix that problem, right? Because there's, obviously, you have to have a contract. If you're going to do work, you have to have contracts that work, not contracts that are not.
Within the mind space, there's endless things that can be thought of. The whole universe exists within the mind space. In what space does the mind exist?
Seems like it must be much bigger than itself.
All right. When the mind drifts, do you drift? Where do you start from? And where could you go?
Yeah, because it seems like I put together all the pieces of where I start from.
What is it
in
that,
that daydream.
what is it that starts?
In the daydream? You're talking about? Or, 'cause it seems
Any
like
kind of dream.
Okay, myself is part of that. In other words, I'm positing myself as a body in the world.
So with that misidentification or mixing up the real and the unreal, there's the mind, the drifting, and what it drifts to. All of which is contained within a single notion. I. All the while, that which is vast and space-like remains unmoving. Where are you?
It seems like, how can I be in that thought? Because those thoughts change. And yet I don't ever feel like I'm jumping from kind of that thought of myself to another thought, which
All right, so you don't jump from thought to thought, and you don't change from thought to thought, regardless if it's a single thought, a pattern, or a whole world.
yeah, could be.
You remain as you are, vast and space-like, within which the mind space appears. That which is vast and space-like is of the nature of being consciousness. Since it always is as it is, the very nature of being or existence, how does the mind space come to be at all? Once we look for explanations of illusion, there are as many as one can imagine. The explanations of illusion are as endless as the illusion itself. Is there illusion? Or are these explanations of how the water got to be in the mirage? Or a detailed biography of a man who was never born?
it seems like a meditation is coming back to what's real and there all the time, and not even, at least what I'm hearing, is that it's really cutting out this person.
What person?
It's okay, even that.
Are you a person?
Yeah, that's a yeah. Okay, so it's really, I don't know, cutting out everything. Person.
Are we cutting out anything? If existing, it is always existing. If it does not exist, then it never exists. Apply that to your own nature. It seems like it comes right, comes around to being, there's no side, I guess. There's nothing that you have to go against. That's right. There are not two shores, not two sides. Not two of you.
Really interesting. Because I think once you, project duality, then it's hard to get out of it.
Once duality is imagined, there'll be all kinds of explanations of why it's there, and all kinds of mental acrobatics to try to explain or unify the so-called two sides, such as yourself and the self, or I and this. However, if the this does not exist, is there anything to unify? If I has not been born, is there anything to put together? Has anything been separate?
It's very different than the way I meditate, though. I mean, that's what I'm trying to. I mean, it's very, because I've reflected on this from time to time, because you've talked to me about this. And I guess every time I kind of just reflect upon that, when I think I'm something else, it makes a difference.
All right. So meditation then is yourself with yourself, by the power of your own self. Meditation, if it truly be non-dual, if it be of the nature of a path of self-knowledge, is non-objective in character. It's not thinking of something. Certainly not just emptying the mind of thought. That would be a temporary mental state. It's not feeling anything. It has all to do with your very being, which is simultaneously consciousness. It is not something to be postponed. As you don't wait for your existence to begin, as you do not postpone the very fact of your consciousness. Likewise, bliss. The same is true of meditation, spiritual experience, and self-realization.
Thank you. I wanted to sort of lay out a not very precise outline of a feeling towards meditation to see what might be astray in it or what might be right. It seems that happiness that appears even through relative life is almost like a shining through of the reality that is like a clue. And when the eye is on the goal of complete happiness as being the natural state, true nature, then it seems like all the paper tigers that my mind would construct as obstacles or confusions get pushed away much more effectively than trying to create paper scissors to cut up the paper tiger. It's just, if I really keep my eye on the goal that happiness is not only at hand, it's my true nature, then that focus seems to be a very generalized solution to what otherwise could be just innumerable, detailed obstacles.
All right.
Does that seem like a useful general? It's not, I'm not expressing it precisely, but it's
All right. Is happiness useful?
no, not useful. It's the purpose, or
Mhm.
well, not the purpose. It's the reality.
All right, it's the reality, but it appears in manifest life to be the purpose. That is to say, the happiness itself is the desired thing, and everything that you desire, experience, every effort you apply. But that happiness is not objective. That happiness is identical with your being. So you're in this constant search for happiness, which is really an intuitive search for your own self.
And to use that as a approach to meditation seems to be an obstacle remover. It's very generalized. That I'm not trying to create antidotes to the obstacles on the same level as the obstacles themselves.
Mhm. You'll find most obstacles are easily removed by having your mind rest on something that's a substrate or underneath or a foundation upon which those obstacles are standing. The Maharshi has pointed out that if we have a doubt, and we answer that doubt, that will in turn make another doubt, and then another doubt, and another doubt. We can go on answering doubts endlessly. That's like dealing with your obstacles, as you call them. He says, however, if you doubt the doubter, inquire into the doubter, all the doubts are tackled at once. If knowing happiness is within, and within must be the self, nothing less. If this is our orientation, so many obstacles to our happiness are removed because how is something to get between you and you and your own self? The obstacles are effectively removed by a perspective that's deeper than the one from which the illusion of obstacles arise.
So then the inquiry becomes the sort of knocking on the most direct doorway, because that's the only door in the way.
Okay. So you knock and it shall be open to you. Especially because you're the one who's opening it. You're knocking and you're already on the inside. Please come in. Yeah, exactly like that. The first thing to find God, what was pointed out, is to know oneself. Perhaps you'll recall from the Maharshi's teachings, both in the text Upadeshasaram and also in the 40 verses on reality, Saddarshanam. Emphasis is placed that seeing the self, Atmadarshanam, that's the seeing of God. And he's very explicit in Saddarshanam. He says that seeing God without seeing the self is just a mental image. Of course, it's far better to see God than to see anything else. But if we want to see God as God is, then we have to see ourselves. Otherwise, in a somewhat mirror-like fashion, we will be holding up ourselves, so-called, and seeing a reflection of what we ourselves hold up. Let us say you wanted to see what a mirror looked like in itself. You must not get your head in the way to see. The head has to go. Spiritually, that's analogous. That's like the ego must go. What we think ourselves to be, that must go. Something does not go. Something remains. That which remains is actually God. Before such inquiry is taken up, what we take to be ourself is an individual with a body and so forth. And then God seems removed from us because we think we're a body. When we eliminate the idea of I am the body, then God's all-pervading nature becomes apparent to us. However, we may still think of ourselves as an individual soul, jiva. That is a combination of God plus some ideas about ourselves. That jiva, that soul, has some kind of form, some kind of shape. Maybe it's a mental shape. Your mental attributes, your likes, your dislikes, your hopes and fears, what have you. If you go on then inquiring and eliminating as not I those various attributes, we then find in the place of a soul an existence without boundary, the very same as God. We wanted to make the soul one with God. The soul disappears. Soul was a conception of God plus something else, plus some limitation. The limitations being cast off, God remains. Then God sees God by the vision of God, which is the self seeing the self. Nothing remains, Maharshi says in verse, of himself but God. So God sees God. And God's knowledge of God, that's true knowledge. That's correct knowledge. And just as God is never unhappy, then you are never unhappy. And as God never loses peace, you never lose peace. Clear?
Prabhu. Sarvam Sachinmayam Vidhi Sarvam Sachinmayam Tadam Satchidanandamadvaitam Satchidanandamadvayam Satchidanandamatram hi Satchidanandam anyakam Satchidanandarupoham Satchidanandamevakam Satchidanandamevatvam Satchidanandakosmyaham Mano buddhirahankara Chitta sankhataka ami.
Know that everything is full of existence consciousness, and as a consequence, everything is full of existence consciousness. Existence consciousness bliss is non-duality. Existence consciousness bliss is non-dual. There is nothing but existence consciousness bliss. Existence consciousness bliss is of the nature of another. I am of the nature of existence consciousness bliss. Space is indeed existence consciousness bliss. You are indeed existence consciousness bliss. I am the blissful existence consciousness. None of mind, intellect, ahamkara, ego, chitta, or the aggregate of these can understand the nature of existence consciousness bliss.
Na tvam naham na chanyadva sarvam brahmaiva kevalam na vakyam na padam vedam naksharam na jadam kvachit na madhyam na dinantam va na satyam na nibandajam na dukkham na sukham bhavam na maya prakritistada na deham na mukham khranam na jihva na cha taluni na dantoshto lalatam cha nishwasochwasa eva cha na svedamasti mamsam cha na raktam na cha mutrakam na duram nandigam nangam nodaram na kiritakam.
Neither you nor I nor any pairs, everything is only Brahman. There is neither a full sentence nor a portion of it, nor Vedas, nor syllable, nor the unintelligent. There is no middle, beginning, or end, no truth, no bondage. Modes of neither happiness nor sorrow, no maya, illusion. Likewise, no prakriti, primal nature distinguished from purusha. There is no body, face, nose, tongue, and no palate, no teeth, lip, and forehead, and no inspiration and expiration in the same manner. There is no sweat, bone, and meat, no blood and no urine, no distant, no near, no limb, no belly, no crown.
Na hastapada chalanam, na shastram, na cha shasanam, na veta vedanam vedyam, na jagrat swapna suptayaha, tvidyatitam na me kinjit, sarvam satchinmayam tadam. नाध्यात्मिकं नाधिभूतं नाधिदैवं न मायिकं न विश्वतेजसः प्राज्ञो विराट्सूत्रात्मकेश्वरः न गमागमचेष्टा च न नष्टं न प्रयोजनं त्याज्यं ग्राह्यं न दूष्यं वा ह्यमेध्यामेध्यकं तथा न पीनं न कृशं क्लेदं न कालं देशभाषणम्.
There is no movement of hands and feet, no scriptures, no instructions, no knower, knowledge known. I do not have even a little of waking, dream, dreamless deep sleep, Turiya, the fourth state, and beyond. Hence, everything is existence, consciousness, not pertaining to the individual, not pertaining to external material objects, not pertaining to the divine spirit, no illusion, no Vishva, the entire world, no Tajasa, individual cognizer, no Pranya, intelligence, no Sutramaka, of the nature of soul that runs like a thread through the universe, no Virat, cosmic intelligence, no Ishvara, Lord, no characteristic of going and not going, no loss, no rejectable, acceptable, or corruptible. Likewise, neither impure nor can cause impurity, neither stout and muscular nor lean and rotting, neither can be told in terms of space and time.
न सर्वं न भयं द्वैतं न वृक्षतृणपर्वताः न ध्यानं योगसंसिद्धिः न ब्रह्मवैश्यक्षत्रगं न पक्षी न मृगो नाग्नि न लोभो मोह एव च न मदो न च मात्सर्यं कामक्रोधादयस्तथा न स्त्रीशूद्रबिडालादि भक्ष्यभोज्यादिकं च यद् न प्रौढहीनो नास्तिक्यं अवार्तावसरोतिः न लौकिको न लोको वा न व्यापारो न मूढता न भोक्ता भोजनं भोज्यं न पात्रं पानपेयकम्.
Know all, no fear of duality, no tree, grass, or mountains, no meditation, no perfect state of union, yoga, no brahmana, kshatriya, or vaishya, no bird, no beast or body, no greed and infatuation, etc., no pride and no jealousy, and likewise no desire, anger, etc. Neither woman nor sutra, nor of unknown caste, by origin, etc. That which cannot be eaten or enjoyed, etc. Not lacking fullness, not just a belief in God, not favorable or unfavorable moment, not worldly, not being in this world, no transaction, no folly, no eater, nothing that can be eaten, no act of eating, no drinking vessel, no act of drinking, nothing that can be drunk.
न शत्रुमित्रपुत्रादिः न माता न पिता स्वसा न जन्म न मृतिर्वृद्धिः न देहोऽहमिति भ्रमः न शून्यं नापि चाशून्यं नान्तःकरणसंसृतिः न रात्रिर्न दिवा नक्तं न ब्रह्मा न हरिः शिवः न वारपक्षमासादि वत्सरं न च चञ्चलं न ब्रह्मलोको वैकुण्ठो न कैलासो न चान्यकः.
No enemy, friend, son, etc., no mother, no father or sister, no birth or death, no growth, no unsteady thought that I am the body, no emptiness and not non-emptiness, no internal organs and their passage through multiple states of existence, no darkness, no day or night, no Brahma, Vishnu or Shiva, no week, fortnight, month, year, etc., and no unsteadiness, no Brahmaloka, no Vaikunta, no Kailasha, and others.
न स्वर्गो न च देवेन्द्रो नाग्निलोको न चाग्निकः न यमो यमलोको वा लोकपालकाः न भूर्भुवस्त्रैलोक्यं न पातालं न भूतलं न विद्या न च विद्या च न माया प्रकृतिर्जडा न स्थिरं क्षणिकं नाशं न गतं न च धावनं न ध्यातव्यं न मे ध्यानं न मन्त्रो न जपः क्वचित् न पदार्था न पूजार्हं नाभिषेको न चार्चनं न पुष्पं न फलं पत्रं गन्धपुष्पादिधूपकं न स्तोत्रं न नमस्कारो न प्रदक्षिणमन्वपि न प्रार्थना पृथग्भावो न हवनाग्निनन्दनम्.
No heaven and no Indra, chief of gods. No Agni Loka and no Agni. Neither Yama nor Yamaloka. No other worlds and their guardians. No three worlds, Bhu, Bhuva, Svaha. No Patala, lower world, or realm of earth. No ignorance and no knowledge and no Maya, illusion. Prakriti, primal nature, inertness. No permanence, transience, destruction, no movement and no running. No object to be meditated upon, no concept of my meditation. No mantra, no japa, never. Not a thing. None that deserves to be worshipped, no anointment and no honoring to be paid. No flower, no fruit, leaf, fragrant flowers, incense, light, waved before God, etc. No stotras, hymns and praise, no prostration, no circumambulation, not even an atom of these. No worship arising because of the sense of separateness, no oblation of food, no prostration of fire.
न होमो न च कर्माणि दुर्वाक्यं सुभाषणं न गायत्री न वा सन्धिः न मनस्यं न दुस्थितिः न दुराशा न दुष्टात्मा न चण्डालो न पौकसः न दुस्सहं दुरालापं न किरातो न कैतवं न पक्षपातं न पक्षं न विभूषणतस्करौ न च दम्भो दाम्भिको वा न हीनो नाधिको नरः नैकं द्वयं त्रयं तुर्यं न महत्त्वं न चाल्पता न पूर्णं न परिच्छिन्नं न काशी न व्रतं तपः.
No act of oblation and no other actions, no abuse or praise, neither Gayatri goddess nor Sandhi, period of junction, such as twilight, etc. No intention, no bad situation, no evil desire, no bad soul, no Chandala, low caste person, Pukasha, of a despised mixed tribe, no unbearable imprecation, no Kirata, hunter, no Kaitava, demon, neither partiality nor favorable side, no ornament, no thieves, no deceit and no act of deceiving, no human deficit or surplus, no one, twofold, threefold, fourfold, no greatness, no insignificance, no fullness, no division, no Kashi, the holy place of pilgrimage, no vratam, observance of religious vow, tapas, intense austerities.
न गोत्रं न कुलं सूत्रं न विभुत्वं न शून्यता न स्त्री न योषिनो वृद्धा न कन्या न वितन्तुता न सूतकं न जातं वा नान्तर्मुखसुविभ्रमः न महावाक्यमैक्यं वा नाणिमादिविभूतयः.
No time, lineage, or family, no special existence, no voidness, no woman folk, no old woman, no girl, no widow, neither birth nor born, no inward turned or elusive appearance, neither the identity or the Mahavakya, great aphorisms, nor the special state of being like anima, capability of becoming small, etc.
सर्वचैतन्यमात्रत्वात् सर्वदोषः सदा नहि सर्वसन्मात्ररूपत्वात् सच्चिदानन्दमात्रकम्.
Everything being awareness only, all defects are non-existent eternally. Everything being of the nature of existence alone is only existence, consciousness, bliss.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om.